Okay, so in the last module, I talked to you about the importance of adopting this new mindset. You're going to stop sweating the small stuff. You're going to stop wasting your time on the grunt work, and you're going to start looking to outsource as much of this work as possible for as cheaply as possible. So now let's discuss where you're going to find these outsourcers. I use a few places, starting with the Warrior Forum. The Warrior Forum is the largest forum on the internet for internet marketers, and there is a section which I'm showing you on the screen right now, where you will find products and services or warriors for hire. And this is an incredible resource. As you can see, there are so many people posting in here. Many of them are from third world countries where they're charging very low rates for anything you can imagine related to internet marketing. They'll do incredible graphics work. They'll do writing for you. They'll do SEO. So you can free yourself up from all of this grunt work by simply browsing the Warrior Forum and finding the right people, all right? Now, whenever I look for candidates, I'm always looking for long-term relationships. I have been able to find graphic designers that have been doing all my graphics work for years. I've got writers who've been with me for years. And and a web designer who's always there for me, on call 24/7, and he's been with me for years. Now, there was a lot of trial and error involved, and I had to deal with a lot of dummies and a lot of flakes. But hopefully, using the tips in this module, you'll avoid a lot of that stuff, and you won't waste your time and money on the wrong people. Warrior Forums is where you want to begin. Odesk is also great. Now, Odesk, it's free to join. What you do is you set up an account, and you will be able to post an ad explaining the job that you need filled. And then, once you post the job ad, you will start receiving in your email inbox tons of applicants. You'll be receiving resumes and applications from all over the place. And so I use Odesk to get writers generally, but you can find anything you want on there. And everything is negotiable. You set a budget, you set a deadline, you hire the person you want, and then you pay them part of the money up front and then part of the money upon completion. Now, the writers on Odesk tend to be pretty serious. The workers in general, not just the writers. Odesk workers, a lot of these people, they're young people living in third world countries. They depend on Odesk as their primary source of income, so they tend to not screw around. When they get hired for a job, they generally get the job done, because Odesk has a reviews system where you'll see very clearly on that worker's profile all the reviews and the ratings they've received for their jobs in the past. So you want to find someone who's done quite a few jobs and who has good positive reviews and ratings. One of the reasons why these workers tend to get the job done is because if they don't and somebody posts a negative review, it's there for everyone to see, and they will not get hired for more work. So as long as they have positive reviews, you can be pretty well assured that they will get the job done, as long as you explain the instructions clearly. And Odesk has other features that I like as well, such as there's a screen capture feature where you can actually see screen captures of your employee's computer and see what they've been spending their time on. So they can't sit there and play video games and do Facebook all day on your dime. They'll get busted. Onlinejobs.ph is good also. The PH stands for Philippines, and this is a site that was established to bring Filipino workers together with foreign clients. I've used them for a lot of work as well. There's a ton of Filipinos on here. There's a monthly membership fee. I think it's around $30, $35. In my case, I just joined for 1 month. I posted a bunch of job ads. I received tons of resumes, like literally over 100 resumes and applications, and I just put them all in a folder, and now, whenever I need somebody, I can dig into that file, and I don't need to pay the $30 monthly fee. So if you need graphics, SEO, writing, a webmaster, whatever it is, just join for 1 month, post a bunch of ads, receive a ton of applications, and then you'll be set. I use them primarily for writers. In the next video, we'll talk about how to screen your candidates, because it can be overwhelming. You're going to receive a lot of resumes, and a lot of these people won't be qualified. VWorker is another one, and so is Elance. All right. Again, all these sites allow you to see the feedback these employees have gotten from other clients and customers. Always be sure to read those. And also on the other side of the coin, if they do a good job for you, you should always take the time to rate them and to write a positive review for them, because it can really help them out. A lot of these people are good, hard workers, and they really could use the extra boost. Now here's the number one question that I receive from friends of mine back in America who want to hire Filipino outsourcers. How much should I pay? They just have no idea. And I'm here on the inside in the Philippines, so I can tell you the truth about this. Local salaries are very low, okay? A college graduate with some skills can get a job at a call center, and if they're making a few $100s US a month, that's considered a good salary. Okay, so keep that in mind. You're generally going to be getting workers who work at home on their own internet connection, and so if you're paying them 12,000 pesos a month, okay, for a full-time salary is good. 12,000 pesos a month in the Philippine currency, that equates to about $288 in US dollars, okay? So for less than $300 a month, you should be able to find an eager full-time worker. And by full-time, I mean Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, although you can always negotiate and have them work weekends as well, or have them work, one day on the weekend, however you want to structure it. If they're hungry for the work, everything is totally flexible. All right. Now there are some bonuses involved. You'll want to give your workers, because there are certain cultural aspects to be aware of and to be sensitive to. I'll explain that a little bit later. But I would say as a starting point, about $285, $290 is for a full-time worker. Now, you're going to want to make sure that they actually are working for you full-time, because you can't monitor them 24/7, obviously. And again, the Philippines is on a totally different time zone. If you're on the East Coast in the U.S., the Philippines is 12 hours ahead, okay? So they start their workday at, let's say, 9 a.m., that's 9 p.m. for you. That's got to factor into this whole thing as well, as far as how you approach managing your workers. We'll discuss that too. Now, you may not want a full-time worker. You may just want to hire somebody on a job by job basis, and that's fine too. I just think that if I'm going to spend the time to interact with a candidate and try to pick the best one, I try to find somebody who I can see using over the long term, because it can really be a drain, time-wise, to have to go back to your resume file, dig a bunch out, contact them, wait for a reply, and then try to figure out if they're available and what the salary is going to be. So that's the rule of thumb: 12,000 pesos a month for full-time. For part-time, pay 6,000 pesos a month. And you can always imply in your job ad, or when you talk to them, that you're hoping this leads to a long-term position. Filipinos really, really want job security. They want job security more than anything else. So if they feel that this is a long-term thing and not just a one-off gig, they will be much more likely to do a good job and to really try to deliver for you. But these are all negotiable. Graphics work will cost another amount of money. It's a case-by-case situation. Just keep this in mind. The average person over here in the Philippines who is not a college graduate is getting by on a few dollars a day or even less. So if you're paying somebody, a few $100 a month, that is considered a good salary. And believe it or not, that person you're paying, they're probably the breadwinner for their whole family. If you might hire, a lot of these workers tend to be women in their early 20s who are college graduates, and just to get that woman through college was an enormous financial strain for the family. And now she might be sitting at home in the province, somewhere in the Philippines. She's got her internet connection and she's hustling for clients, and the work she gets from you is feeding her whole family. So it's in her best interest to take this very seriously, especially if you imply that this could be a long-term position for her. But you're going to need to manage her the right way, or else things will fall apart very quickly, and I'll explain that soon. So I like to always negotiate bulk work or long-term situations. For example, I have a lot of websites, and I always want to post fresh content. At least once a week, I want to have a new article on each one of my sites. And I've got about 30 websites. So rather than hiring writers on a case-by-case basis, I go on Odesk or Warrior Forum, but Odesk I tend to have better luck on there. And I'll find a writer, and I'll propose to them, I'll pay you $2 an article, but I'm going to give you 25 articles per week to write. So it's $200 a month, and I get a ton of articles. I get, it's a lot of work. Now, I don't expect, Pulitzer Prize winning quality with these articles. I don't want to see a lot of grammatical mistakes and misspellings, but I accept the fact that for $2 an article, I'm not going to get, a literary masterpiece, but it's content. and it goes on my sites, not on my money sites, but on some of my other sites, my feeder sites that are funneling traffic towards my products and my money sites. So if you need writing done, try to find a writer that you can negotiate a bulk deal with. And then every week, by Sunday night, you want to see those articles in your inbox, all right? That's how I approach it. So again, just to recap, these are some of the sites you can use to find workers, whatever it is you need right now. A lot of these workers are writers because that's what Google needs to see. They need to see content and writing on your sites. So if you're looking for writers, look to negotiate bulk, okay? You could pay $2 or $3 an article and have a set number of articles per week that you're going to need. Now, you may also want to set up a situation where you hire that writer for the 12,000 pesos a month as a full-time worker, and you assign them, let's say, 2 or 3 articles a day, but it's also their job to post those articles on your site, to write the headers, to make it look really nice, and then to bookmark it using bookmarking services. They'll give it a Facebook like. So I have some of my workers doing that. It's sort of like a hybrid job position. They write the article and then they post the article on my site. Because if I'm getting 50 articles a week from some writer, I'm not going to go into my WordPress sites and post all of them. That'll take me forever. So I try to find also writers who can do posting and are familiar with WordPress. I find that a lot of Filipino workers nowadays, most of the Filipino workers that are offering services as writers also are familiar with WordPress, which is a really cool combination of job skills to look out for. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. We're going to get deeper into how to screen your candidates, how to hire them, and how to manage your team effectively. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.